Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. It is your boy Nebula, and today, okay, we are doing one of these tier lists. Yes, my last video was a tier list. Not my last stream, my last video. Yes, it was a tier list. Do I care? A little bit. Are they fun? Yes. Do I want to do it? Yes. Am I struggling for content? Okay. No. Let's do this. So, as you can see, we've got the main series Call of Duty games, none of the spin-offs like COD Mobile or any of the just not made by Activision on a main series console game. So, I think we're going to start off with my least favorites. Black Ops 4 and Infinite Warfare. Now, you might be wondering why I put Black Ops 4 here, because some of you will say, Black Ops 4 isn't even that bad. The way I look at it, Black Ops 4 had no campaign. Out of the how many zombies maps did they have, only 2 of them were decent. Well, I'll say 2 of them were good. Classified and 9 were both really, really good. We don't talk about Blood of the Dead or Voyage of Despair or any of that garbage. We don't talk about that. And then the multiplayer was just, it didn't feel like a Black Ops game. It felt futuristic, even though it had nothing to do with the future whatsoever. It had nothing to do with the future, and it feels futuristic. And I think it also is because it has none of the other characters in it. Or none of the original characters, even though it came back from the future. So it kind of had that lost in there, which was not too great for many people. And then Infinite Warfare is just, oh boy. The campaign was good. I like the campaign. The multiplayer, I think I played the multiplayer for a solid 3 hours at most. In zombies, the only maps I really liked were Attack of the Radioactive Thing and Raven the Redwoods. Shaolin Shuffle was alright, but it was just, I don't know. We don't talk about it. Now, let's move on. Let's move on to the never played category. Call of Duty 1. The very first Call of Duty ever created. I've never played it. I've never had the chance to play it. I've never owned it. And that is the only Call of Duty that will be in the category because I've never played it. And therefore, I will not have an opinion on it because it could be amazing. I've just never played it, never seen gameplay on it, never sought to play it or see gameplay on it, so I'm going to leave it there in its own respective category. That does not mean that it's at the bottom of the list. That means it's in a separate category that I cannot list. Now, right here, let's do my favorites. We're going to go Black Ops 2. Where is it? Modern Warfare 2. There we go. Okay, I'll do both my reasonings for these. Black Ops 2 had a fantastic campaign with multiple different endings. A lot of people didn't know there were multiple different endings, but there were choices you made that affected the outcome of the game. So the campaign was great. It had amazing characters, had an amazing finale. The final level and the final boss you would fight was fantastic. The multiplayer was classic. It was fun. There was no really overpowered guns. Black Ops 2 was where quick scoping in a Black Ops game became hype, because quick scoping in Black Ops 1 wasn't really a thing. It wasn't unheard of, but it wasn't as prominent as it was in Black Ops 2, because Black Ops 2 had the Nuketown and the better snipers. Black Ops 1 snipers were a little bit poo-poo. There were no really overpowered guns, like I said. There weren't anything that were necessarily bad. The kill streaks were cool. It was easy to counter stuff. Black Ops 2 is hard to get mad at. You hop into a game in Nuketown, You see somebody sitting in the corner, you don't really care. You see somebody hiding up in the window, you don't really care. Because nostalgia takes you over. And the zombies. The zombies has debatably the worst and the best zombies maps at the same time. It had, not only did it have Transit and Die Rise, but it also had Origins and Mob of the Dead. Considered the two worst maps of all time and the two greatest maps of all time. That hits home for a lot of people. And even though we all hated Transit, most of us hated Transit, I'm pretty sure all of us could go back to that map right now and have a good time. As much as the map sucked, I can guarantee you get 3 of your friends together, including you, and go onto that map, you will have a blast. Because of the memories. That's all I've got to say about that one. Modern Warfare 2. Fantastic campaign. Final fight with Shepard. He stabs you in the stomach. You rip that knife right out of your flesh and you throw it into his eye while he's beating the shit out of Price. Fantastic campaign. Multiplayer. Beautiful. Sniping took off. The nuke. It had the nuke. You get a kill streak. You get that that many kills without dying. You can end the entire match right then and there, and your team automatically wins, no matter if you were losing or winning. It was such a badass thing to look forward to and actually working for it. The game made you work for it. It was tough to get, and it was hard, but if you could manage it, the dedication was there. Okay, now we got my favorites, my least favorite, and the never played out of the way. So the rest of them I'm going to be explaining, but I won't go as in-depth as I did with these 5. So, A tier. I'm going to throw Modern Warfare 3 here first. Modern Warfare 3 is the next game in the Modern Warfare franchise after Modern Warfare 2's end. That was great to happen. Had a great campaign. Had a really good multiplayer. The only thing that's holding it from going into S tier for me, personally, is the lack of nostalgia. Because I did play it a lot. I did play Modern Warfare 3's campaign more, but I played Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer more. If that makes any sense. I'm not bringing Spec Ops into this because I didn't really play Spec Ops, and if we brought Spec Ops into the game, or if we brought Spec Ops into the opinion, then Modern Warfare's would all be at A tier and all the Black Ops's would be at S tier. And that's just how it would be. But I'm not going to do that to the Modern Warfare series because they do deserve a fighting chance at what they did accomplish. Just because they didn't have zombies doesn't mean that they were bad. Also here, I'm going to throw Call of Duty Black Ops 1. Campaign, great. Multiplayer, it was alright. Had a couple flaws here and there. Zombies, it was good. It was really, really good. It has my favorite map of all time, which was Call of the Dead. It's just, it had a lot of other maps that were either hard or you didn't have many other people to play with when the game was still in its life cycle. I remember I'd go on to Public Match and try to find a game of Moon. Nobody would be playing Moon because Moon was way too hard for everybody back in the day. Nobody knew how to do Moon. I don't remember trying to find a match of Ascension. Nobody wanted to play Ascension because of the Space Monkeys. So, more memories on Black Ops 2 with public matches than Black Ops. And that's why Black Ops gets A tier. Call of Duty World at War, A tier. It is an absolute classic. Fantastic World War II campaign. Amazing World War II style multiplayer. Amazing zombies. Zombies took off here. Zombies is where it started for the entire series here in World at War. The first map with Nocturne Toten was meant to be a bonus mode only. They did not plan on making other maps. They didn't plan on making other DLCs. They had a bonus mode for completing the campaign and yet people saw that as the greatest thing of all time, and now look at where we're at in the zombies community. The timeline has ended and a new chapter has started. An absolute classic, deserves an amazing rating. Now, B tier. I'm going to throw Black Ops 3, COD 4, and Call of Duty 2 here. Black Ops 3, garbage campaign. Multiplayer, in the beginning of the game, the multiplayer was fantastic. Towards the end of the game, the multiplayer died back a lot because everybody started using the brecci. And it was overpowered, and they didn't patch it and they didn't nerf it like they should have. If they would have nerfed the brecci, or people wouldn't have used the brecci, this game would be an A tier right now. But the zombies is really what saves it. Zombies is what saves this game. Zombies made Black Ops 3. Especially with the Zombies Chronicles DLC remastering 8 old maps. That was completely unimaginable. If you would have told me when Black Ops 3 came out that at the end of the game's life cycle they would be remastering 8 maps from Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, I would have told you were insane. COD 4. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This is where a lot of people's Call of Duty journey started. It's not where mine started, but it's definitely close. Great campaign, starting out. It wasn't really the best, but wasn't the worst. It was the first modern Call of Duty, because Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3 were all World War II style, World War II era Call of Duties. So COD 4 Modern Warfare was the first modern military Call of Duty we had, and a lot of people love it for that. COD 2. Out of the COD trilogy, the very first COD trilogy, COD 2 is my favorite. Besides never playing COD or the original Call of Duty. COD 2 is my favorite out of those World War II trilogies, just because it had the best playstyle and the multiplayer was the most fun out of all of them. That's all I really got to say about it. There's not too much to say about the game. C tier. Call of Duty Cold War, Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 3. Call of Duty Cold War, I'm being directly neutral on Cold War right now because the game just came out little less than a month ago. There's not really much that we can say about it just yet. There's only one zombies map out. The multiplayer's iffy. The campaign's great. But the thing about Cold War is Treyarch only had around 4 months to make the game. The game was originally being made by Sledgehammer, Raven, and Infinity Ward. And soon into development, Activision was just like, hey Treyarch, you got this, right? Treyarch said, no we don't, it's not our year to make a Call of Duty. And they said, good, take the game. So Treyarch had around 4 months to make and fix a game that Sledgehammer, Raven, and Infinity Ward would have screwed up royally. So we cannot place this at an exact area yet just because the game is very buggy and they are trying their damnedest to fix it. If it goes in the right path, Cold War can make it to S or A tier. It could jump up an entire 3 tiers if all the bugs are fixed and the game actually plays out how we want it to. But right now, I'm being neutral on it. Modern Warfare. Great campaign. Spec Ops, alright. Multiplayer has a lot of issues, and the reason multiplayer has a lot of issues is because they care more about Warzone than they do the actual game. Warzone is a more sacred thing to Infinity Ward than Modern Warfare is. And that hurts a lot of the game. It hurts a lot of it. The multiplayer's turning poopy, and they just don't seem to care. Call of Duty 3. Not as good as Call of Duty 2, but still, it's alright. I'd play it again. Not all the time, but I'd play it again. Alrighty. These 3. As you can tell, they're going in D tier. Now, some of you might be shocked that I'm putting Ghosts and Advanced Warfare in the same tier as World War II. Hear me out. World War II campaign, fantastic. Call of Duty Ghost campaign, fantastic. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare campaign, fantastic. Call of Duty World War II Zombies, a little poopy. Call of Duty Ghost Extinction Mode, alright, it's a little poopy. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare's Zombies mode, 2 of the maps were decent. 1 map was iffy and the other map was garbage. And some people might be complaining about the fact that I have Ghost right there, that I'm saying Ghost had a good multiplayer. Ghost did a lot of things right. Yes, their maps were a little bit too big, but they did a lot of things right. Their hit scan was right, their weapons felt nice and sounded nice. The overall service of the game was just fantastic. The small maps that did exist, the layouts were amazing. World War II, multiplayer was pretty good. Campaign was great. Zombies was yeah. That's about all I gotta say. Zombies is yeah. No, but in all seriousness, Zombies didn't have a good success in World War II. Not at all. The only good map was the Final Reich, and that map was even iffy. There was one map, the Shadowed Throne, that wasn't good. There's another map called the Frozen Dawn, which wasn't good. And then there's this one we all love called the Tortured Path. Get this, the Tortured Path was 3 different maps. If you bought the Tortured Path, it was 3 maps. And you couldn't play those maps. You had to complete the Easter egg in the main Tortured Path map to be able to unlock those 3 maps. So you don't even get to play the damn DLC you paid for. You paid for 4 maps, 3 of which you cannot play. Advanced Warfare. Campaign was pretty good. For the first futuristic Call of Duty, it wasn't bad. The multiplayer was fun despite the ASM-1 and BAL being overpowered. But, you know, it was the first futuristic Call of Duty, besides Black Ops 2, but Black Ops 2 is set in 2025. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare is set in, like, 2080 or something intense like that. Call of Duty Black Ops 2 wasn't too far away from the future, or from the present. I'm sorry. Advanced Warfare is the first heavily futuristic Call of Duty game with futuristic aspects, boost, jump, exosuits, all that. So they didn't do a terrible job at executing it. I feel like Black Ops 3 did a better job with the exosuit futuristic idea. But Call of Duty Advanced Warfare didn't have a bad idea of starting it out. But with Advanced Warfare Zombies, there is Outbreak, which is a really good starter map. That was the first map they added. Then Infection or Burger Town, which was absolute poopy. We hated Infection because Infection was like, hey guys, what if we make them do an optional objective, but if they don't do the optional objective, they get locked in the sewers for like 5 rounds. How neat would that be? Somebody seriously sat down at the Treyarch table and they were talking about this map, and they were like, hey everybody, how can we make this map be the most playable and best map we have in the game? Some dude in the corner eating Cheetos raised his hand and said, what if we don't let them play the map? The guy said, perfect, gave him a raise, and then put his idea in the game. That's what they did. And it pains me. Moving on from Infection, though, Carrier and Descent were 2 really good maps. The Wonder Weapon in Descent was kind of booty. The Wonder Weapon in Carrier was really fun. Both of the Easter eggs was really neat. There was a drunk limbo that you had to play for one of the Easter egg steps in Carrier, which was really fun. Descent has a fun boss fight fighting one of the main characters from your main crew that you didn't even know was a bad guy until after Infection. So, Advanced Warfare just didn't hit as much as it should have, but it still hit pretty good. It could have been a lot worse, but it also could have been a lot better. I just feel it falls slightly below average, if that makes any sense. Anyway, that's my list. I have formed my list. It's actually pretty even if you look at it. It's pretty neat. How neat is that? That's pretty neat. Anyway, this is what it is. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what your opinions are, if you agree with this list or disagree. I'd love to hear your different opinions, or even we can talk about it on stream. Who knows? That's kind of funky. So, I'll leave this here. I'll wrap it up. Have a nice day, guys. Stay hot. See ya in the next one.